All right, guys, I hear you. So today we're going to talk about the turbo parts. All right, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Messenger. You guys are all asking me the same questions. Everybody's asking me about the parts that I'm getting for the twin turbo build on Chaos Theory here, what parts I'm using, where I got them from, and when we're going to start the build. So that's kind of what we're going to cover in this video. I've got pretty much everything I need to start the turbo build. So I'm going to go over every single freaking part here. I'm going to put links to every single freaking part here in the description of this video. So, you know, you guys that keep asking me for links, asking me where I got this, what brand this is, all that stuff, the links will be in the description of this video for you guys. All you got to do is click on it. There'll be search links. It may not show you the exact product that I'm using, but I'm going to let you know the seller that I bought this stuff from. Well, at least as best as I can. And we're going to talk a little bit about when I'm going to put all this on this. I want to start off by saying, if you've been wondering where I've been, what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, then obviously you're not following me on Facebook or on Instagram yet. So guys, Instagram is The Bad Luck Garage. Facebook, well, there's a Bad Luck Garage group page. So during these little spells where, you know, I'm sick or something's going on with work and I'm not able to get videos out for you guys, I usually try to keep everybody posted there. So if you're not following and you've got an Instagram account, head over there and follow me. If you don't have an Instagram but you're on Facebook, check out the Bad Luck Garage group page. It's not just about this channel, guys. It's just a community for all hot rodding in general, motorcycles, cars, trucks, you name it. You know, if you're into motorsports, head on over there, show us what you got, post up about your project. You know the drill, guys. Just make sure you read and agree to the rules before you request membership, though. That's my one pet peeve, because we don't have many rules, but we do have a couple rules, and they are strictly enforced. So we want to keep it civil over there. No BS outside of automotive stuff. So keep that in mind. Anyway, for those of you who don't follow me, I've been pretty sick for the last week or so. So my voice still hasn't fully recovered, but I wanted to make a video because I keep getting questions. A lot of you guys are asking me where I'm getting these parts, what parts I'm using, why I'm using them. I know a lot of you guys got kind of, I don't know if upset's the right word, but a lot of you guys got kind of bent out of shape because we won the VS Racing Gen 2 7875 Turbo, and we actually sold it. One of you guys actually bought it. And I went out and bought a set of twin turbos and dual wastegates with the money. So let's just kind of dig in here and go over what we got. First thing we have is we have a pair of Billet Gt3582s. And they're not regular GT3582s. These are actually, what did we say they were? 64, 62s. Is what these are, where a regular GT3582 is like a 61, 62. So got a little bit bigger billet compressor wheel here on it. Other than that, it's your garden variety GT3582. The wastegate, or not the wastegate, the exhaust housing on these are, I think I got sorry guys, I've been out of it a little while. I believe they're .82 T3 housings, which, you know, I'm sure at some point those are going to become a restriction. But just to let you guys know, you know, these are not the final turbos that are going to be on there. These are just the turbos that I bought to get this project started and hopefully get us up past the 700 horsepower range. Anyway, I bought both of these turbos from eBay, eBay seller, US Turbo. So, you know, I'm not going to keep saying, you know, links are in the description, but, you know, the links for everything I'm showing you here will be in the description of this video. So you can click on that and find it. Now, you guys already know we're using the up and forward eBay headers Nothing special about these headers. You know, if you want to see how we cut them off, modified them and everything, check out the other videos in the Chaos Theory Camaro playlist. We showed all that on video. Well, everything that we've done so far is on video, but we're going to be using these same headers to do our turbo setup. We are going to poke them up out of the hood a little bit. The turbos are going to be sitting up here on either side of the intake. So in order to join those turbos to those headers, we got these elbows here, and these elbows will work with T4 or T3 housings. We got these elbows from an eBay seller that I buy quite a few things from, actually. It's Black Horse Racing. Our V-bands, 3-inch V-bands, I bought these. We're only going to be using half of the flanges. We're actually going to be using these to connect to the back side of the turbo, but all my V-band flanges also come from Black Horse Racing. That's who I bought all the flanges for, you know, years ago when we did the Turbo C10 in the Project Steppenwolf playlist. That's where I got all my V-band flanges, and to this day, I did order some from another company once upon a time a couple years ago. I was not impressed with them. For the money, you can't beat these from Black Horse Racing. I think the 3-inch like this, they're like $15 each, and that comes with the flanges, and they do have the male and female flanges and the clamps. So that's where those came from. Wastegates. These are 50 millimeter Speed Daddy wastegates. If you want to know why they're purple, well, go back and watch another video. I'm not going to go over that again, but yes, I did it on purpose. We also have a 50 meter blow-off valve. You know, this is a tile replica of, you know, the original tile blow-off valves. But this also came from Speed Daddy. So these wastegates, I believe they were about $60 a piece. Depending on when you're watching this video, they may or may not still be that same price. The wastegate was the blow-off valve was $35. Moving on down the line, our intercooler. Guys, this is a Rev-9 intercooler, okay? And this is a 2-in, 1-out intercooler. So you can see it's got the one outlet here on the top, and it's got an outlet on each side. So it's 2.5-inch in with a 3-inch out. Now, I want to talk about this intercooler just a little bit. First off, this intercooler is not as large as I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be kind of small. So what I did, I want you to take note of this. With the Rev-9 intercoolers like this, they make two models. They make this one where the discharge pipe comes out backward, and then they make another model where the discharge pipe comes straight out the top. Now, here was my logic. This model with the discharge pipe that comes out, you know, backward, it has a 3.5-inch core. So it's a pretty thick core, and I was kind of hoping that the thicker core would help to make up for the lack of surface area here. Okay, if you get the model that has the outlet that comes straight up out of the top, it is just a 2.5-inch core, I believe. So it's going to be the same size overall, but the core is not going to be as thick, so it's not going to cool down your charge air quite as much as this one will. I think this one will probably be fine at lower boost levels, but once we start turning the boost up and these turbos start making a ton of heat, I have my doubts as to whether or not this smaller intercooler is going to be sufficient to cool down the intake charge. Now, that being said, if you've been paying attention to my past videos, you know this intercooler is temporary. We do plan eventually to switch over to air to water, but air to water is a lot more expensive than doing air to air. So we're starting off with this just so I can go ahead and get this thing turboed over the winter and, get everything going, start getting the bugs worked out. Once we decide to switch over to air to water, it's going to be a couple $1,000s to do that. So the way I want to do it anyway, it's going to be a couple $1,000s. So that's why we're starting out with this guy. I also want to say this intercooler is very heavy. The intercooler we used when we turboed Project Steppenwolf It was an eBay intercooler as well, but the tanks, you know, well, on that one it just had end tanks. On this one you've got 3 tanks, you know, the 2 on the bottom and the 1 big one on the top. On the intercoolers I usually get, they have like sheet aluminum end tanks, so they're pretty light. This guy's heavy, guys, because all 3 of these end tanks, they're not sheet aluminum. These are actually cast. They're really thick, and this thing, as a matter of fact, let me get my nitrous scale out, and I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how much this thing weighs. All right. Guys, it's looking like about 21 pounds, okay? So, yeah, that's a lot heavier than I expected, but, you know, that's what we used again, a Rev-9. Now, keep in mind, when you're turboing a vehicle, I mean, you're going to be hanging more, you're going to be putting more weight in the engine bay with the turbo, or in my case, the turbos. Hell, while we're weighing stuff, let's just go ahead and see. These Gt3582s, now, this is with our elbow, our stainless cast elbow attached. These turbochargers weigh about 17.5 pounds each. 17 pounds, 9 ounces. So, yeah, about 17.5 pounds each. That's with the elbow attached. So, probably around 15.5 pounds, 16 pounds without the elbow attached. So, you know, we're already adding some weight, but I would like to say both of these turbos together, I believe they still weigh less than the 7875 that I did have. But there's a big difference between, you know, hanging this weight at the front of the engine and hanging this weight right up at the front, you know, in the nose of the car. So I don't really like putting 20 pounds right on the nose of the car when I'm actually in the process of removing stuff from that area to try to get weight off of it. But, you know, like I said, this is temporary. This is what we're working with right now. Now, let's talk about oil, getting oil to and from the turbos. We'll start off with the hose here. I just ordered, I think, 10 feet of some cheap -10 braided hose. I got this from, let's see here, Racing Car Parts Home is the eBay seller's name. It doesn't really matter, guys, on this. Just, you know, find you some -10 hose, basically. I'll put links to, you know, where I got this hose from, but I'm just telling you, you know, just find you some -10 hose. I prefer the braided stainless on this because it's going to be so close to the exhaust, especially the way I'm having to set all this up. So if it does bump over against the exhaust, I don't want nylon that can melt. You know, I'd rather have the braided stainless, so that's what I did. So this is my outlet hose. I want to say all my fittings came from a seller on eBay that I'm actually growing quite fond of because they seem to make really high quality fittings for really cheap, and it is Faster LLC, and it's actually spelled with, Faster is spelled with 2 S's. So, and this is the little logo they put on everything, and I didn't really give them any recognition when I was doing my fuel system, but I actually used a couple of their curved, I'm going to show you this, these little fuel rail adapters. They sell these 90-degree fuel rail adapters, which came in real handy for clearing my my windshield wiper motor there. So yeah, it's Faster with 2 S's LLC on eBay. Like I said, I'm really impressed, not just with the quality of their parts, but their huge variety. I mean, pretty much any weird type of fitting you could ask for, they have, guys. So here's what I got from them. I got 2 45-degree -10 fittings. Those will come off the bottom of the turbo and curve back towards the engine. And then I got 2 straights. Those are going to go, you know, attached to the oil pan. You know, we've got the TSP oil pan. We did a video on that also in the Chaos Theory Camaro playlist. That's the one that's very similar to the Holley oil pans, but for $100 cheaper. And I think my guy Scott over there at Poor Man Motorsports, where I bought my pan, I think he's actually lowered the prices even more on those. So you guys might want to check that out. Poor Man Motorsports on eBay there. Like I said, there's links for that oil pan. There's a whole video. It's the dirt cheap LS swap oil pan video. But anyway, I also got these. These are 45 degree -10 to 1/2 inch NPT fittings. These will screw into either side of the oil pan, and I'm hoping that we can clear the K-member and everything, and you know, use the built-in bungs on that oil pan. Now that takes care of everything on the drain side for the oil. Oh, except for these. These did not come from Faster, guys. I'll post a link, but basically these GT35s, they use the same oil drain fitting as like a T25 or T20 or whatever turbo. They don't use like a T4 turbo style flange like your T66 or your 78, 75 turbos would. The flanges on these are actually narrower. So I got 2 of these flanges. We'll be modifying them, chafering the hole a little bit for better drainage and stuff. But I actually ordered these from China. You can see there's rust in here from the bolts, but that's not going to hurt anything. I don't remember who I ordered these from, but again, I'll put links. So as far as getting the oil to the turbos, I'm kind of up in the air about some of it, but I'll show you what I've already got. I decided to use these banjo fittings from Mamba. Mamba is the name of the seller on eBay, but I decided to use the banjo flanges instead of just the screw-in top. These do take screw-in adapters here, guys. You can't use the bolt-on flanges for your oil intake on these turbos. But the reason I went with the banjo style is so I could kind of, number one, it would already put a right angle on it, and number two, I could kind of aim it wherever I needed to aim it. So that's why I went with those. And those they weren't too expensive. These are the 1.8 millimeter restrictors, so there's almost no restriction at all in these. And you know, if it doesn't seem like it's getting enough oil to the turbo, which I'm sure it will, you know, I can always drill out the hole there a little bit. So coming up, I have not decided, and this is why I haven't ordered my lines yet. Sorry about my voice, guys. I have not decided yet if I want to get my sponsor, Lsx Innovations, to send me a block-off plate adapter that has 2 oil lines coming out of it, or if I want to just do a single line up, or if I want to get some kind of adapter back where the oil pressure sending unit is. That way I don't have to have a bunch of line running, you know, from the back of the bottom of the engine up over the engine. I could just run 2 lines straight off the oil pressure sending unit outlet to the turbos on the front of the engine. But this is what I got so far. You know, I've just got like a little 1/8 NPT to a -4 adapter fitting. This is also from that Faster LLC. And then I got this guy, and I'll explain why in a minute. And this is a T, obviously, but it goes, you know, 1-4 and then splits into 2-4s. The reason I got this guy is because regardless of whether I come from the back lower port on the engine or if I come from that top port, I'm gonna have to split into 2 lines. So that's what this guy's for. And I already know I'm gonna run a soft line to this guy. And guys, I've got all kinds of short -4 lines, you know, in my boxes of nitrous stuff I've accumulated throughout the years. So I could use one of those lines to get to this splitter. But what I'm trying to decide on is if I want to use more soft line coming off this splitter, or I've thought about using some aluminum hard line instead. And I'm really leaning heavily towards the aluminum hard line, because once it's bent, it'll go, you know, down either side of the intake manifold, and then, you know, right angle and go over to each turbo. If I do it that way, I don't have to worry about lines flopping around and stuff, because they'll be hard lines. So That is literally the only part that I still need to order for this whole turbo thing, because like I said, I'm still up in the air, and I may be up in the air until we get everything mounted and I see how long the lines will have to be, and at that point I'll probably make my decision if I just want to make some dash 4 braided stainless lines or if I want to make hard lines. So you guys will know when I know on that one. Now, the astute among you may be wondering, okay, where's all your cold side and hot side piping? Well, obviously we don't need hot side piping because we're coming off of our turbo manifolds or turbo headers and coming into these elbows straight to the turbos. I'll kind of show you a picture of what that's going to look like. I'll insert that here. So the hot side is done, with the exception of I'm going to have to get my cousin Brad, of course, to weld in some pipe on each one of these elbows to mount our wastegates there. As far as cold side piping, I went, once again on eBay, I went to a seller called Buy A Parts. Yes, that's the name of the seller. But here's the thing, guys. You can buy these 2.5-inch kits with couplers on eBay all day long for less than $100. Again, I'm going to put a search link for that in the video description, but this is just the one I decided to go with. And the main reason I went with this one was purely based on the color. I like the red and black couplers. Obviously, red and black are my favorite colors. You guys should know that by now. So, you know, that's why I did it. And again, this was like $100, and it comes with 4 90s. What do we got here? 8 straight couplers. We've got all kinds of aluminum bends. This is all 2.5-inch. It comes with just a huge amount of clamps here, all for $100. Now you may be wondering, because this does have 2.5-inch inlets, but it has a 3-inch outlet, so you are going to need a small section of 3-inch pipe, depending on, you know, if I'm just saying, if you're, you know, trying to build something similar, you're going to need a small section of 3-inch pipe, and obviously a 3-inch coupler or 2, whatever you need. You can get that on eBay as well, guys. There's not going to be links for that because I have this entire thing over here from where we've built other setups, and I mean, I've got tons of aluminum, you know, aluminum bends. I've got these U-bends. I got 90s. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff left over from previous builds that you've seen me do in there, so I'm not having to order any of that. The one thing I did order, though, is this guy right here. This is a 3-inch to 3 3/4 inch or 3.75 inch coupler here. This is to go to the throttle body, guys. What side adapter or what size adapter you need is going to depend on what throttle body you're using. So as you can see, we're using like the older style 3-bolt truck throttle body, and the outside diameter on this is 3.75 inches. So if you get a 3-inch adapter to a 3.75-inch adapter, it's going to be kind of hard to get on, but you're going to know you've got a snug fit and you're not going to have to worry about it blowing off. Okay. Now, if you've got like the later style 4-bolt throttle bodies, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think they're closer to 4-inch exterior diameter. So at that point, you're going to want to get a 3-inch to 4-inch adapter for that. And you can make it stay on if you clamp it tight enough. It might blow off, you know, at extremely high boost, but, you know, as long as you've got a good clamp on it, you shouldn't even have to worry about blowing that off. Honestly, I'm kind of wishing I would have just went ahead and got the 3 to 4 instead of the 3 to 375, because I do plan on stepping up to a larger throttle body, one of the 4-bolt style throttle bodies, and probably a Holley high ram style intake later on down the road. So actually, I think I've got a 3 to 4 over there in my tub anyway. But now that's pretty much got everything covered. We are running decapped injectors in here right now, and they're flowed at 76.5 pounds. So that's going to be enough to get us going with the turbo setup and, you know, make some pretty decent power. At some point down the road, I will have to upgrade the fuel injectors, of course. I'll also have to do something with the fuel pump. I'm proud to say we are currently still running on the $15 Amazon 340 Oasis pump, and we haven't had any issues with leaning out. As a matter of fact, all of our issues have been running too rich. But I do have a pair of Walbro 450s up there, brand new, that I bought from Phil Bretthauser a while back. I think I showed you guys in a video when I bought those. So at some point we will be switching over, and that's something else I'm in the air about with the fuel system. I'm trying to decide if I want to modify my tank to fit 2 fuel pumps in the tank, or if I want to do a surge tank and just use the dual pumps in the surge tank. And I'm kind of leaning more toward the surge tank, guys, because then I wouldn't ever have to worry you know, about my fuel pumps coming uncovered. If you remember, that's what I actually did the engine in on our Turbo C10, was a fuel pump coming uncovered and sucking air and a huge lean spike. And I just feel like it would be nice to just be able to run the stock pickup with the 340 pump in the stock tank back there, and then just have like a 1.5 or 2 liter surge tank up here with twin 450s in it, and, you know, dash 8 line going straight over to the intake, short run of that. I think that would, in the long run, that'd probably be the safer option and a lot less headache. It also wouldn't require me to run a whole new, you know, fuel line system from the front to the back. It also wouldn't require me to modify my fuel tank in any way. So I wouldn't have to worry about trying to fit dual 450s in a stock, you know, 3rd gen tank back there. But that actually brings us to the last part of our puzzle. So when we built our little side exit exhaust here, if you guys remember, I actually found a kit online that had a bunch of stainless steel 3-inch bends, stainless steel clamps, all that crap for like $99. Well, I posted a link in the video where we built this exhaust, and I think I kind of shot myself in the foot, because that seller has remained sold out of that system ever since I posted that. So I actually, because I shared my sources with you guys, I actually ended up having to pay a little more. And what I did, this is the same system, guys, but it's made by Speed Engineering. It's $158. This is identical to the system we used to build our exhaust there, and now we're going to use it to build our exhaust for our turbos. So once again, it comes with an X pipe. So I now have 2 3-inch stainless steel high flow X pipes that I don't need. I'll probably sell those on freaking Marketplace or something to somebody who's actually running exhaust. It comes with these clamps, which if you guys have bought Speed Engineering headers or X pipes or anything, you already know these clamps are pretty much garbage. As a matter of fact, I've got a whole stack of them. I don't know if you can see them over there on the top of that toolbox for when we did the exhaust on our Corvette, the China Vet, and I ended up going back and using some of these guys instead, because I absolutely could not get the Speed Engineering clamps to seal. But anyway, if you're lucky enough to find the system that I got for $100, then you can use that. If not, here's your next option for around $150. Speed Engineering. It's going to come with 2 of these U-bends, and it comes with 4 of these pipes that have 45s. Now, the plan here is to not have to change anything, to use the exact same holes I've already cut in the fenders on both sides, all that jazz. And I want to say, I do still have, like, this is aluminum, but this is stainless. This is one of the U's that's left over from the last stainless kit, and I've actually got 190, and there's the other X pipe. and a bunch of other pieces of stainless left in there. So the plan here is the turbos are going to be right here. They're going to be on either side. I already showed you a picture of that earlier in the video. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the U-bends to come off the back of the turbo and bend and go around immediately and down. And then we're just going to follow out where we've already got our exhaust routed here. So it's going to U off and come down and out each fender, both turbos. So that's the plan, guys. And now you know. Now you know all the parts I'm using, and you know what the plan is as far as putting it all together. The big, huge question that you guys keep asking me over and over, no matter how many times I repeat it in a video, is when are we going to do all this? Well, guys, this is going to be an over-winter project, okay? So I'll probably get started on this right about the time all the tracks close down. All right, so we're looking at a couple months from now. Now, English Mountain does not close down throughout the winter, so we'll still be able to go up there. But I'm just trying to give you guys a time frame. So from the time I'm making this video, like right now, it is the end of August. So let's see, September, October, probably around the holidays, around late November, early December. That's when we're gonna, you know, start knocking out all this turbo stuff, because the plan is to have it up and going before next spring with the turbo stuff. Now I want to show you guys something really cool. This is why I designed the exhaust system that's currently on the car the way I did. A lot of you guys gave me crap about it. You were like, hey man, why are you running front exhaust? You ain't got turbos, yuck, yuck. Well, there was a purpose, guys, and here's the purpose. The purpose is this is going to allow us to work on the turbo stuff little by little while I still keep the car running, because everything is going to be attached with this clamp right here. So basically what we're going to be able to do is take the car over to my cousin's house, you know, bolt our turbos on, work on fabricating stuff, whatever. Well, you know, if he gets busy, doesn't have time to finish doing something or whatever, all we've got to do is pop this clamp off and we can bolt this exhaust right back on the car. Boom, the car's running again. So that was part of the purpose of me doing this. The other purpose was, at the time I did it, I really wasn't seeing many people do it. I know a lot of you guys have actually sent me pictures of your cars where you're building similar setups now, so I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, there's a purpose. There's always a method to my madness. Oh, and one other thing I want to cover, I have talked about it in other videos, but you know, I know everybody doesn't watch every video. We are going to be moving the radiator forward as well. So we're going to cut into our support here, and we're going to drop the radiator down about 4 inches and move it forward. So this cap right here is going to be, you know, right in this area, real close to our headlight bracket here. So we're going to do that to give us a little more room, because the turbochargers are actually going to be right here, almost against the radiator where it's at currently. And that's not really a problem on this side, but over here on this side, we've got our top hose to contend with. So when in the picture you saw earlier, the turbocharger was actually hitting the top hose. So we've got to get all this moved forward a little bit. It's not a big deal because, you know, we're going to be getting rid of the whole hood latch system and everything. The intercooler is going to be mounted down in here. We're going to try to get it lined up as best as we can with the openings here for the running lights that don't exist on this car. But yeah, guys, so that's the plan. I hope that answered all your questions. If you've got questions that were not answered in this video, feel free to post them in the comment section down below. If it's something I haven't talked about before, I'll answer it in the comments or maybe in the next video. If it's something that I have talked about or I have a video on that, then I'll probably just post a link to the video. That's normally what I do to keep from having to type the same thing like 10,000 times. Keep in mind, at this point, there are over 16,000 of you. There is one of me, and I gotta admit, it's kind of troublesome trying to keep up with answering every comment, but I do try, guys. And when I start getting the same comments over and over, that's when I make videos like this and just try to kind of knock out answers to all your comments in one video. You know, it's a time saver for everybody, really. With that being said, I do hope this video helped you guys out, kind of cleared up some stuff about what parts I'm using, where I'm getting the parts, when we're getting started on all this. And if it didn't, maybe the next one will. So for now, I'm going to get in the house, edit this video. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And after you do that, get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.